Got a few folks from the media here that will ask you some questions, and I'll go ahead and start with one. As you prepare for this UAB team, a big challenge here. You saw what they can do on tape, and for you guys, let's start with you first. I mean, defensively, what's this group done this week to try to make some changes, corrections, improvements coming into this game?
Well, they have a good offense and they have great players. But in our group, we just focusing on working on ourselves and getting better at what we do. We're not really worried about the things they do. The best thing we doing as a group is grabbing the game plan coach have ready for us and working it to his best and work like on our stuff instead of like worrying about how good they are. Because if we work on ourselves, if we do what we do best, should be good.
Open it up here to some questions for Kendy.
Hey, Kendy, this is Damian Sordelet with the News in Advance, and we got a chance to talk to you after the Old Dominion game, but haven't really had a chance to talk to you outside of that. Can you tell us a little bit about your story of coming from Haiti to the States and your road here to Liberty?
Well, yeah. But when I was 9, my dad was already in America, but we were still living in Haiti. My dad was living here for like 4 years. When I turned 9, my dad decided it's time for us to come to America. So with that, I knew coming to America was going to be a great opportunity to make something out of myself. But when I came to America, I wasn't thinking about like football would have been that factor or that thing that's gonna change myself. I was more into like soccer and stuff and playing soccer, stuff like that, and track. But really, eighth grade was like I was in fourth grade when I came here, but I never played football till the eighth grade. So really, why I started playing ball is I was a kid from Haiti, not at the point like it wasn't cool to be from a foreign country or whatever. So I thought like playing football was the way for me to make friends and like try to grasp the American culture or try to fit in with other kids. That's really why I started playing football for real at that point. But we moved here. We moved to America when after the earthquake. Um, so that's really the main reason why we moved there is the earthquake. Because like schools was getting shut down. Like the Pacific school I went to Haiti and it was no longer in service. So like my dad just thought it was time to get out of there. For real. Is there like any specific question y'all have about that? Cause like it's kind of a lot. So
I was gonna. So, what was the school in Haiti that you were attending that got shut down? That helped. That your dad said, "Hey, let's move you to the States."
it's called L'école Michelet. It was like L'école Michelet, but it's not like a known school in Haiti. It was more like it was like self owned. So it's like LeBron James got his own school. It was kind of like that. So like actually, he was my mom's cousin, so we were attending school. It was like a small private school, so when the earthquake happened, it was hard for him to like get back things on track. Actually, he also moved to America. He was my neighbor back home, so it's kind of cool.
Your dad was in Florida when he was working in Florida at the time.
Yes, my dad was in Florida at the time. My dad left Haiti when I was like 4. So like for those 4 years, I never got to see him. So
And so your family came to the States together after, obviously your dad was already here, but after the earthquake, you, your mom,
and
and I guess you had siblings.
yes, five of us came, but 3 of us unfortunately couldn't come to America because like the way the rules was working, if you over 18, you basically not your parents' responsibility. So like my dad couldn't prove like basically provide for them in America. Basically, they had to stand on their own. So during that process, they had to do their own process to come to America. They still live in Haiti right now. Like I have two older brother and a sister that lives in Haiti. Actually, I spoke to my oldest brother last night from Haiti and talked to him about the game, how things been going here. But like I have five siblings that lives in America with me. Yeah, but it was six of us that came to America, including my mom.
Gotcha. Do you know anyone that, I'm sure you do, that was affected down there, but was there anyone like super close to you that, maybe was affected more so than you guys were down there, or, like a close friend or a family member?
Yeah, for sure. Like, in my area, so it wasn't like, because we live kind of more like in the foreign side, not like farmer side stuff. So like it wasn't we would then live in the city where like houses are crowded and stuff. We live kind of more in like open area. So like where I live, it wasn't that effective. But like but my mom cousin and stuff that lived in the city, like some lived in Port-au-Prince. My mom cousin passed away. That was the closest to our family during that time. But and a couple was injured, but thank God that like it didn't affect our family like tremendously.
Yeah.
Hey, Kendy, when did you first watch football? I mean, was it, you said you didn't play till 8th grade or so. What did you ever watch any football in Haiti, or was that after you got to the States?
Yeah, actually, a funny story. Like I never heard of football ever until I came to America. So I remember, like now I'm knowing what football is. I remember seeing a football in Haiti, but we never knew what it was, and we tried to play soccer with it. And we realized, okay, that's not for the work. We thought we didn't know what it was, but like coming to America, I think the first time I watched football, it was a Georgia game. I think Georgia was playing. I think it was Georgia versus Florida game because I was at my friend's house. He was like, "This big game, you should watch it." That was the first time I watched football, and my first thought, I'm like, "I'm never playing this. It's too violent. I can't do it." So because I was a soccer guy, I'm like, I don't like violent for real. Then years go by. Look at me now. But I ain't football. I didn't really like football at first, but now I love it.
How old did you say you were when that happened? When you saw that Georgia game?
I was about 12,
Yeah.
so like I was in America for 2 years, 3 years, but I never watched football or heard football. I probably seen the kids play in the program, but I didn't think it was like something big. Cause like for the first 3 years of my life until I got to junior high, I would just go to school and come home and watch TV. I didn't really have friends to go outside and play with. Cause I still didn't know the language. Cause when I came here, the only like thing I know was good morning and good afternoon, thank you, stuff like that. That's it. So it took me a little bit to learn the language and stuff and be able to communicate with people.
And you're how old now? 21 or so?
I'm 20.
20? Yeah. So you've been here, what, 10 years?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Kendy, you grew up, like you said, you were playing soccer and running and track, and obviously there has to be a growth spurt to get you into where you are now as a defensive lineman. When did that happen? That was it after you started playing football and you had this growth spurt to where, oh wow, my body just filled out and I know where I can play football?
Yeah. At first, I think it happened in high school, but in junior high, my first position, I was a center. So, and I got pretty good at that. Then one time at practice, my junior high coach, he was like, "You should try to play DN." And that week I played DN because I was starting DN, got hurt. I played DN that game, and I went crazy. And the next week after that, he started playing me more at DN, and eventually after the season, he told me I should play DN in high school and not center. But actually, my freshman year in high school, I wasn't gonna play football because I still, like you talk about the growth spurt, I still didn't get that. So I went out there one time and I'm like, these kids are too big for me. And like I told you, I don't really like violence and stuff like that. So I was like, these kids are too big for me. So the whole summer, I didn't go out at all. Like I didn't go to no training camp or nothing until my junior high coach came to the house. He's like, you better get your butt out there or I'll come get you. So I got out there. And the first time I got there, and the coach saw it in me from the jump, played a couple JV games, and after that he moved me up to varsity. And I think it was about 2 more games left of high school. Our senior DN got ejected out the game, so I had to go in and play the rest of the game. And my coach saw something in me. My coach Matt from high school, he saw it in me. And the next game he started me, so that was my first start. The last game of my freshman year. But from there, then I think the spring of my sophomore year was when I hit my growth spurt. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Then junior year, that's when I started getting offers and stuff. Then from there, I was like, okay, this is me now. And all that, I was still fighting. After all that getting offered for football, I was still fighting. Like, should I play football or soccer? Because I played soccer throughout my whole high school. Like, I played my senior year high school, so like, but I knew, like, I think my junior year I knew, like, it was time to, like, give the dream up, but I just did it for fun. My junior year, that's when I knew, like, okay, football is for me. I mean, that was the factor for me.
Who or what got you on the field ultimately? Because you were pretty dead set against playing. So what person or what circumstance ultimately got you on the field?
To start playing football?
Yeah.
It was I just wanted to make friends. I wanted to be one of the, cause like around school and junior high, the football players get all the love. I was like, okay, this is my chance right now. Get on this football team, be one of the cool kids. Cause like I didn't have many friends, so I was like, okay, that's the way to make friends right here. So, yeah. But
John, did you have one? Okay. You kicked a little bit in high school too, field goal kicker, right?
yes, sir.
Probably the biggest field goal kicker.
Yeah, like when I go out there to kick in high school, they'd be like fake. I'm like, God, I'm kicking the ball. Like,
what was your longest make that you had in high school?
I think probably like 30. I would say 30, 32, around that range. But I wasn't the starting kicker. I'll say like we had a sophomore at the time that kicked for us. He kicked the field goals. I kicked the extra point and stuff. But like senior year, it's either senior year or junior year, he got hurt and I had to kick every time. So yeah.
I'm going to ask you one more about the game this week, and then I'm done with you. But
All right.
Just looking at UAB, I mean, this is an offense that can run the ball very well. They got a couple backs that are pretty strong, but then they can lull you to sleep with that and hit those deep shots down the field. How important is it for you guys to try to make them one-dimensional? Is that kind of the thought this week, and try to shut down the run first?
Yeah, it's always a thought to make a team one-dimensional, but I think we ready. I trust some of my coaching staff and Coach Aldred and Coach Simon and Coach Kings, Coach Williams. They always have a great plan for it. So like we just trust in the game plan and working on that and believe, and we see what the scoreboard say after that. But I think we're ready. I think our game plan is good, and we'll go out there and compete.
Take one from Damien, then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Hey, Kendy, I wanted to ask, which part of Haiti did you grow up in? I know you said you didn't live in the big city like Port-au-Prince. Where did you grow up?
It's Quadra-Bouquet. It's
Okay.
like I say 45 an hour out of Port-au-Prince. Yeah.
And Coach Aldrich has always spoken highly of you since you verbally committed to Liberty. And what's it been like here in the college ranks of getting your feet wet and working your way into a position now where you're starting or you're in the main rotation?
Right now, I'm just doing my role. I'm not starting, but I'm playing a lot. So all you can do as a college player is just play your role and just trust the process. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trusting the process, doing what Coach Aldridge is telling me and teaching me. And I know he got my best interests at heart. So whatever he said, I do. And that's really what I go by every day. And God blessing me and putting me out there. God to give me this opportunity. I'm just following the path.